Alpha fam, let's do a quick market update. Before we begin, I do want to say that nothing in this video is financial advice. Everything is for educational purposes only. It's just my own analysis on the market. Also, if you're new to this channel, if you can please like, comment, and subscribe, we really do appreciate the support. So let's get into the market, guys. So we're starting to get a bounce. I'll be honest, we came down a lot lower than I wanted to yesterday, guys, and we talked about this on the video. We still are in the general zone that we need to be in. It looks like we've got this trend line that we are finding support on. We are starting to get a bit of a move in the market, and I think what's going to happen probably over the next couple of days is a bit of de-escalation from both sides. This is typically how the tariff playbook happens. Do it over the weekend. Very aggressive. Neither side wants their economies to be really destroyed by this. So they're going to come out with a lot of grandstanding at first, a lot of hostility, and then they start backpedaling. And a lot of this stuff de-escalates, and then we start seeing the relief come back into the market, which is what I kind of think was happening right now. If you look at the 4-hour chart, guys, we kind of have this double bottom bounce thing right here. Looking at this thing from a Fibonacci sequence, you want to do from your range lows to your right here. And you can see we're kind of at a weird level where we're not really finding anything here. And then so I would probably want to take this fib down to this next range low. And just to see if there's any confluence between these levels. Just looking, guys, because you can put these things in a couple different places. You know, just like trend lines, guys, you got guys with fibs that will put fibs places just to try to basically confirm their thesis, and you don't want to do that. I look at these things objectively as tools to look for confluence, but I don't ever look for it to be the one all be all, and I never try to use an indicator to fit my narrative. All right. With that being said, guys, we are starting to get a decent bounce from the market. We're also getting a bounce from the NASDAQ. You can see it. One thing about the NASDAQ is, and what I definitely don't want to see happen, and why I'm glad we're finding a bounce here, is we don't want the stock market to go through a 10 or 15% corrective. The reason why, it's going to tear crypto down. And if it tears crypto down, then you're already at a critical level. Then the chances of us breaking that $80,000 zone and actually creating the spring is extremely high. You'll see it right here, guys. So with that being said, it's good to get relief. We don't want to see a stock market crash. We don't want to see a big corrective in the stock market. We want to see a general continuation back up. We have the initial shock. I feel like we've reset a lot of the lower time frame oscillators at this point. We've even reset a lot of the larger time oscillators. Like if you even look at the RSI right now, is super undersold, guys. We're starting to kind of get a bounce, which is the level that we want. I said it yesterday, between the 40 and 50, you want to see the bounce, and then you want to see the continuation. All right. We came down a lot lower than I wanted us to, primarily this was one thing that I was watching. I did not want to see us break this 3.02 level on the total market cap, guys. All right. And now that we have, I want to see us reclaim it. Now, this is one thing I don't want to see happen. You see how this was resistance here before we broke up and it kind of was finding support? I don't want this to turn into a new resistance level, guys. I don't want to see us, because we broke below the 90, that 90,000 all of a sudden becomes this barrier that we have to reclaim. I want to see us reclaim it very quick, and this just be like a quick deviation. And this was just a way for them to basically sweep liquidity, liquidate some longs, and then we get a continuation and we can start moving up and reclaiming some of these key levels. Want to look at Bitcoin dominance, guys. It's at a pretty key level. We were just talking about it. It's right at the 50 on the weekly. We don't want to see this go any higher, but if you see the daily, looks like we're starting to get some relief where it's starting to come down. Same thing with USDT dominance, guys. It's broken way above where I wanted to. I was really excited when we got back below that 50. But again, this is a level it always rejects from, so it would not be unusual to see it reject. And then let's get us some relief, and we start moving back down. All right. We also have a little bit of data coming out this week, guys, we have to be cognitive of. Tomorrow is going to be something I'm watching very closely, specifically for this GDP growth rate, QOQ final. And I'm also going to be looking at the core PCE data. It's going to be two. We got month over month. Is it just month over month? Or are they doing? Yeah. Core PCE price index, and we got both. So very interested to see that data and see what happens with that, because depending on how that data comes out, if it comes out really bullish, that could also be some momentum that we need to reclaim and push up and reclaim some of these levels. And this was just a retest at the bottom of the zone, and now we can continue moving up. All right. Watching these things extremely close today, guys. Obviously watching Ethereum, it lost the 3,000 level. It kind of broke below this trend line that it was kind of holding. This isn't something that we wanted to see, but of course, You know, it is what it is. I think, honestly, guys, now that we've come back down and retest these levels, today's kind of a, I wouldn't say make it or break it day, but if we bounce from this zone, great. If we start to come down further, the problem that I have is I don't want to see us do this spring now. I want to and hope and pray that, like Bitcoin, for instance, and Ethereum have already done their springs right here. So you can see how Ethereum did its spring, its retest, and this was its trading range. And then you had the same thing happen with Bitcoin, guys. The same thing, all right? You can see it right here. It did its spring right here. This was its trading range. All right. And you can see it's bouncing, spring, retest, go, go. What we don't want to see is it do another spring, which would mean that the chances of it coming out of this zone would definitely be higher. And then it would probably wick down. And what I would expect it to do, guys, honestly, if it did have to do this, was we would get this wick down probably right below here, somewhere right where these local bottoms were, right here. And then we bounce, reclaim, and then that would be the retest where I would be looking for. Once we did that retest or reclaim, that's when I would say, okay, we've completed it, and now we're moving up. This isn't a guarantee, guys. We deal with a set of probabilities, all right? You can never be perma-bullish. You can never be perma-bearish. You have to look at the market structurally, and then you have to try to line these things up and build yourself a thesis. Like my thesis for 2026 is Jerome Powell's being replaced. Stimulus checks are coming. Additional easing. We got quantitative easings already started. We're going to get additional rate cuts. When Jerome Powell gets replaced, that guy's going to come in with the full understanding of what his job is there to do for the Fed. And all these things converge going into midterms, which we know midterms are extremely important for Trump, guys. Keep these things in mind. With that being said, guys, if this is your first time ever finding one of my videos, my name is Coach JM. I am the founder of Alpha Syndicate. I'm also an expert inside of Capital Club, where I host the bi-weekly Crypto Talk workshops. I've been a digital asset expert going on 5 years now, and I'm just trying to help as many people as possible really understand this stuff at a deep fundamental level. If you want to learn technical analysis, if you want to learn fundamentals, if you want to know the projects we're investing in, and more so too, you want to understand the macro and how we kind of combine all of these things together to give us an edge over the market, click the link below, guys. We'll see you inside.